woke up this morning and I realized that I am absolutely living the life that I want to live. You ever ask God for something and then the fact that He's answered you kind of sneaks up on you, and then you look around and you go, "Oh, you did that. You definitely did that." That is the place where I was this morning. And I just want to share some of that with you guys because He wants to do the same thing for you as well. It's going to take some sacrifice. So I'm going to share a little bit of my testimony so you don't think that stuff like this just falls out of the sky, because it doesn't. But when you really seek the Lord and you want to bless Him and you want to be a blessing to other people, the Lord will answer your prayers. He says if you delight yourself in Him, He'll give you the desires of your heart. And I've spent 22 years delighting myself in the Lord. Not perfectly, because there were certain seasons where I was running from Him because He wanted me to do some very challenging things. And I was like, Lord, I'm not trying to do that. He's called me to the apostolic and to the prophetic. And so there are leaders He sent me to deliver corrective words. And I mean like national leaders. And I was like running from that assignment. But he got me there. He had me do exactly what He wanted me to do. The point that I'm making is that you can live the life that you want to live, even in these last and evil days. I know time is certainly winding down, because God still wants to bless you, but He wants to use you in the lives of other people. And so this morning in my prayer time, which each morning I spend between 2 to 3 hours with the Lord, I was praying, I was talking to Him, I was reading the Bible, kind of going back and forth between those two things. Then my son came into my office because I have a home office. I have a office like at another location in a business building, but I never go to that office because I have a home office. Like, well, I'm gonna leave my house. I got all my books and my computers and my electronics here in my house, in my own private office. So I got to drive 8 minutes away to that office. Like, I get mail there and I have an office there, and I don't go there. When I go there, people are like, "Hey, we haven't seen you in a while." I was like, "I know, I've been working from home because it's my preference." And so I was in my office praying, because I like to pray in here too. I was praying and reading the Bible, and my son just walked into my office because my office is at home. And we talked for an hour about his life and his future plans. And I didn't have to tell him, "Son, I got to go to work. We can't keep talking. You got to hurry up. Move it along." Then after that, my husband and my daughter talked to me, and they pulled me, and we spent time this morning just kind of preparing and doing things, talking about the future and what we want to do, and investing and preparing for emergencies and stuff like that. And then I said, "Well, you guys, at some point I need to work out because I'm trying to incorporate that back into my schedule." So I spent an hour stretching and doing some strength training and jogging and running, because I have to kind of go back and forth between those two because I've been out of shape for a while. But I can put stuff in my schedule if I want to. I can take things out. I can make adjustments. We just got back from a conference, and so I had to adjust my schedule because I really believe that, God wanted us to go. And so I have time freedom, and it doesn't mean I don't have responsibilities, but I determine when I fulfill them. And I don't do that in my own thinking or understanding. I spend all that time in the presence of the Lord. He's ordering my steps. He's ordering my day. He's telling me what to do and what His priorities are, and confirming for me that anything I miss, He's going to bring it back around, and, giving me peace and healing my heart. I spend a lot of time in God's presence, allowing Him to heal my soul wounds so that I won't sabotage myself or my relationships. Because I'm married to my best friend, and how amazing is that? Like, I absolutely am, with his crazy self. He's hilarious. We have similar giftings and similar goals and similar backgrounds, and our families are similar. It's like our moms are the same person, and it's just when our dads are similar, and our families love us, and it's just beautiful. Like, it's crazy, and I can spend that time, and I can come back into God's presence, and I can work on my business, and I can decide what goals am I going to set, and how much am I going to do, and when am I going to do it. But I need discipline, because again, I've got that time freedom. I can say, "Oh, I'm not going to do it today," and so I have to spend that time with the Lord, because He helps me to realize what's the priority, what I need to do, when I need to do it, so that I can actually do what He's called me to do, not just in ministry, because I do lead a ministry, which is where I focus a lot of my professional time, but in building this business, Kingdom Off, and I have another business as well that I'm building, and how much time should I allot to those enterprises? What should I be doing over here? What should I be doing over there? And making sure that I'm pleasing God, because in everything I do, He wants to get the glory. He has a goal. There's an agenda that He has for all the stuff that He's put before me. My businesses, the ministries that we lead. There's lots of things in my hand. And as an entrepreneur, I have to be disciplined enough and have enough foresight to plan and to lead others, to stick with my plans, so that people know they can depend on me, even though I've got this time freedom. And so it's a lot of responsibility, but with it comes so many blessings. Like, I get to just share my heart with you guys, and I don't have to worry about somebody telling me, oh, you shouldn't have shared that much. I'm my boss. So I just have to talk to the big boss, and then we're good. I share what he puts on my heart. Nobody's censoring me. Nobody's looking at a watch and telling me that I'm spending too much time on this or not enough time on that, or throwing some on my desk at the last minute, or I'm not trying to pick up the work that somebody else slacked off on or anything like that. It changes everything. But it didn't happen overnight. Like, I remember when the Lord first called me off my 9 to 5. I haven't worked a real 9 to 5 in 22 years. And I remember he called me off of it, and he would not let me get another job because he was transforming me and my thinking. He was making me dependent upon him for everything, finances, safety, security, everything. And there were people depending on me at that time. But that was what he told me to do, and I was faithful to do it. But we didn't have a lot of the things that, we have now. Like, I remember my kids were little. Both my kids are adults now. But when they were little, we didn't have cable. We didn't have, some of those luxuries, that people experience now, things that we have now. We didn't have it, and they understood why. I was building a ministry and building a business. And so when we receive finances, they had to go to those two things. Of course, our needs were met, but we didn't have excesses and luxuries. That was the sacrifice of building. When you're building something, you have to really be focused on doing it, because it's just like my kids were little, my ministry and my business were little. And so I had to focus on them, and make sure the essentials were done. But there were no excesses. There were no, a whole lot of luxuries, wasn't a whole lot of that. We did some things, of course, but everybody made sacrifices. And so my kids learned a lot from that. That's one of the things my son and I were talking about this morning, like, things he's planning to do in his future. My son is actually just graduated high school. Some of you guys know, you see my Facebook pictures, and he's going to college. And he's chosen to go to school near home and to live here, just like my daughter lives here. She's an adult, and she's building her life insurance business, and killing it, by the way. And she's doing it from home. And he's building a business and going to school for a business, going to college up the street for business, and living here so that they can actually use the finances that they make, pour back into their business, and also save for a home, so that when they leave my home, they move into the home they have purchased, not into an apartment, not having to have a roommate, anything like that. And we've got the type of home environment, that my husband and I have created, where they can talk to us, they have freedom, and we trust them, but they're also responsible young people. They helped me build the ministry and the business, and they have been involved from the beginning, and they just turned into just great adults. And so being able to rear them and give them the freedom to use their money to invest in their future, and not say, oh, y'all have to pay these bills, y'all have to help me pay these bills, y'all have to contribute to our household. We don't have to do that. And what a blessing that is, that they can actually invest in themselves. We can help them to do just that, invest in their businesses, actually, invest in a diversified portfolio, invest in saving for a home. Like, those are, it's like a stepping stone. It's a foundation for them to be able to just move forward and to do even more than we've done. And this is what we want to provide for our children. And then providing a godly legacy for our grandchildren. Like, the Jordans that I just bought, one of my granddaughters just came in at the door. And then yesterday I picked up the game console for my other granddaughter. They both have summer birthdays. And so the last time I saw them, I handed both of them my phone. I said, here, you take my phone and you find your birthday gift, and then hand it back to me so I can pay for it. And I handed the other one, here's my phone. You find your birthday gift and you hand it back to me. And then we just bought their gifts that way. There was a time when I would never have handed anybody my phone and said, find your gift, and then hand it to me and I'm going to pay for it. There's no way. But to be able to bless our grandchildren like that, oh my goodness. I told you, when I woke up this morning, I was like, wow, this is absolutely the life I prayed for. Thank you, Lord. And this is not to brag on me. It's all about him, because this is not what I planned. I was going to do it completely differently. And I know I would have been killing myself, grinding, and somebody would have been using me as a labor slave, pretty much. I'd have been making good money, but I would have sacrificed my whole life. And that's not what you should do either. You should build the life you want and let your business support it. I want to encourage you to do that, and I want to help you to do that. So connect with me so that you can build a life that you want and a business that will support it.